Yo, what is up, everybody? It's your boy the Kryptonian Saiyan here, and I have to talk to you about what is going on in the Boruto manga right now. If you are not reading the Boruto manga, you definitely need to jump on the hype train right now. And I'm just gonna go ahead and give a warning for the anime only viewers. If you are an anime only viewer, do not watch this video, because when I say this is a major spoiler, this is a major spoiler. When the anime adapts this probably sometime next year, this is gonna be one of those moments where you look at the screen and you cannot believe what you are seeing. So with that being said, if you are still here, I am going to assume you are completely okay with any type of spoilers. So in Boruto chapter 25, we finally see the true power of the person who might have actually killed off Naruto Uzumaki. And the thing about this chapter is it makes it pretty damn clear. It is highly possible Kawaki might have actually killed Naruto. I know that's gonna trigger a lot of people, but just grab your ramen bowls for a second and sit back and digest what I'm about to share with you guys. So in this chapter, we find out that not only does Kawaki have better control over his karma mark that he has on him, the same one that Boruto has, and they're clearly connected, because every time Kawaki begins to use a high-powered attack using karma, Boruto has some type of reaction to it. And the thing about this chapter is when Kawaki finally gets serious, he pierces one of the dudes from Car right through the chest, and it goes all the way through him. He's all the way inside of him. He puts his hand on this dude's face on some straight classic Dragon Ball Z Savage shit, and he proceeds to look this dude in the eyes, and then he blows this dude in half. And the size of the explosion is so big, you see this huge cloud, this huge boom of energy. But this is what you really need to be paying attention to. When I say he blows him in half, it's not, oh, he kind of blows half of his face off or something. No, he blows the whole upper half of this dude's body off. Just let that sink in. Kawaki blows off half of somebody's body, and you see the shreds and everything. I have to tip my hat to Ikimoto for this, because it's one thing for Kodachi to come up with a storyboard, run it by Kishimoto, and then say, Ikimoto, hey, go ahead and draw this. It's another thing to execute it in the way that he does, and then to have the detail in that scene as his body is kind of just sitting there on the ground. You got the dust and everything going. You got Kashin, Koji, and Delta just watching in a nonchalant expression. You have Boruto and everybody just looking on in shock. They can't believe what they're seeing. Konohamaru saying that this mission has clearly exceeded the expectations. It is now in the parameters of an S-rank type mission, and that they must pull back. This is completely insane. This level of destructive capability is really high up. This is way beyond anything that Boruto should be expecting to see this soon after the tuning exams. And when it comes to Kawaki, you have to open up the door. If he has this level of destructive capability while he's fatigued, let that sink in. The kid is fatigued, and he's showing this level of destructive force this early. Imagine what he can do when he gets his full power. This is absolutely insane. And the other thing that comes out in this chapter, and this is probably gonna prove some of you guys right, because I did not think they're gonna go this route. I did not think they were gonna go the route of having the whole thing with the clones and everything. I thought clones were being overdone. Kishimoto did it in Naruto Gaiden, and then he did it again in the one shot, and I just looked at it and said, they're not gonna continue to hammer us home. Kawaki isn't necessarily a clone, but instead he's more of what you would call an artificial human. He's the same thing that you have in Dragon Ball, where you had Android 17 and 18. When you read the Dragon Ball manga, they're actually referred to as artificial humans, and when you listen to the Japanese dub, they call them Jinzo Ningen, which is artificial human. They're cyborgs, if you will. They're basically human beings that have mechanical enhancements. And when you look at Kawaki, Kawaki has clearly been experimented on, because that's what they keep saying in this chapter. And in fact, Katasuke even looks at Kawaki and he says that there's another mad scientist in the ninja world who has been experimenting on Kawaki, and that explains why Kawaki has so much destructive force, because this isn't natural power. This is man-made infusion, and this just kind of pulls everything into perspective for you. Kishimoto wanted to do a sci-fi manga, and when you go back and look at some of his one-shots that he did before Naruto got published, one of the things Kishimoto did was he kind of experimented with cyborgs and artificial humans, that type of stuff. And this is what I find interesting. If this is the direction that the Boruto series is taking, then what does that leave for Boruto? Because how is he going to keep up with somebody like Kawaki? And I do want to say this. I like the fact that Kawaki was able to handle the Karma Seal, but when you look at Boruto, Boruto was struggling with it. Yes, Boruto absorbed some of the blasts that came out of that chakra cannon, but at the same time, Boruto, you could tell it was really, really draining on him. So it shows that there's a gap that has to be closed between him and Kawaki. But more importantly, at the end of this chapter, we find out that Kawaki is headed to the Hidden Leaf Village. So we're actually going to see Naruto interact with the person who might have potentially killed him. But again, just the fact that this kid is packing this much destructive force, this much power, and you have somebody like Katasuke who is going to look at him, this opens up the door. What the fuck did Jigen do to him? Because this is absolutely insane. Again, this kid blew off half of somebody's body. This is some shit that you see in Shippuden. You didn't see this in the first part of Naruto. This is absolutely incredible. But those are my thoughts on this matter. The fact that Kawaki is clearly an artificial human. He has the Karma Seal. There's no telling how he got it, but he has the Karma Seal. He's an artificial human, and he has this ability to kind of detach those extra limbs that he's growing and then switch back and forth to it. And he has this level of power that someone like Kashin Koji, who was making fodder out of Konohamaru, was just watching, and he's saying it's okay. Konoha can get this, but we'll eventually come back. It lets you know the Car organization is on a completely different level. They're thinking on a global level, because if I'm not mistaken, the Car organization was doing things in regions. They have somebody assigned to a different region, but this is scary as hell, because I thought maybe Kawaki would seal Naruto away. It's very possible that Kawaki has enough power to kill Naruto. This is absolutely insane. Again, if he's doing this fatigued, yes, Naruto took down a guy who's strong to split his planet. That's absolutely true. But the thing about the Naruto series you have to keep in mind is that if you can catch someone off guard, if you can catch them off guard, it is possible to kill them. And Naruto, he has the regeneration ability of the QB, but given everything that this Karma Seal has, if you have absorption, what's to say that he can't absorb chakra the same way that Momoshiki was able to absorb chakra? It's the same thing in principle. He's absorbing jutsu, but what's to say he can't actually absorb chakra? If that happens, we could just see the QB chakra extracted from Naruto, which would be absolutely insane. So drop me a comment down in the comment section. Let me know what you think about this chapter. I will have this tweeted out on my Twitter. I cannot link it on my channel because that violates YouTube's terms of service. And also the other thing is normally I would put the panels in this video, and the reason why I'm not really doing that for this one is I don't want to play around with copyright strikes so soon after a chapter's been released. I've had to deal with Shueisha in the past, and they're a pain in the ass to deal with when it comes to copyright strikes. So I don't want to risk it at this point, but I will have this tweet. I will have a tweet with this chapter for you guys to check out. But as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, share. Thank you so much for watching the video, guys. Have an awesome day.